Okay. Hello, everyone. Again, this lecture will cover the basics of signals and systems, which is necessary for understanding the data collection and data processing in mobile computing. What are signals? In electrical engineering, signals are the fundamental quantities of representing some information. And in mathematics, a signal is a function that conveys some important information. So any quantity which is measurable through time and over space or any higher dimension can be taken as a signal. The signal can be captured by various means. The signal basically refers to the changing currents, voltages, or electromagnetic waves, the air pressure that transmits data at any point in an electrical system or in a natural system. The signals can be broadly categorized into two types. One is the analog signal and another one as a digital signal. Next, we'll discuss about the analog signals. What are the analog signals? The quantity which is defined over time are the analog signals. The analog signals are continuous signals over time, and they have infinite amount of samples in it as they are captured at each and every interval of time. They are difficult to analyze because they have infinite values in the signal process, in the signal collection. They have higher accuracy as this signal, analog signal, is captured over the entire duration of the time. So the accuracy at each and every moment would be higher. Also, as we discussed that there are infinite amount of samples in the analog signals, as mentioned in the curve here, that there are infinite amount of continuous samples collected. So an infinite memory would be required for the storage of the analog signal. So the analog signals are broadly denoted by the sine waves. As mentioned here, this is the sine wave, and the analog signals are denoted by a continuous waveform. For example, we have the human voice. When a person speaks, his voice gets transmitted, and it transmits in the form of the pressure waves. These pressure waves are then resulted in the form of the signals, which is being captured by a data collection device and further sent for the processing. Next is the type of signal is the digital signal. The digital signals are the signals which are in discrete values as compared to the analog, which were the continuous values. These are defined by an interval or the bit rate, that is 0 or 1. The digital signals contain in them a set of numbers that depicts or represents a sample of a continuous variable. As we had the analog signals in the continuous motion captured, but discrete variables are the quantitative values or discrete values of those continuous variables. These are very easy to analyze as the values are very discrete and easy to be interpreted. Another advantage of the digital signal is that they require very less memory for the storage, because they do not have infinite values. They have a specific amount of values for them. But in spite of that, the digital signal are less accurate than the analog signals due to its discrete values or a single value defined for a particular interval. They are not subjective to noise, so they last long and are easy to interpret. Digital signals are mainly denoted by the square waves because they have a 0, 1 or a value of numericals. So they are represented using the square waves, as it can be seen in the diagram here. The digital signal over time is represented here. For example, the digital signal can be represented using the computer's keyboard. When a key is pressed on the keyboard, an appropriate signal is sent to the keyboard, which contains an ASCII value of each of the keys. That ASCII values are a set of numbers or from 0 to 96 or 95, and each of the alphabet also represents the ASCII value. So they are easy to be stored and interpretable. Next, we'll talk about the system. Why is the system needed? As we have captured the signal with us, now the system is needed to be taken as the type of input and the output to deal with. The system is a mathematical model and a piece of code or software that or a physical device or a black box kind of thing that you can consider, whose input is a signal and it performs some processing over that signal and generates the output as a signal itself. So the input is known as the excitation and the output is known as the response. So all the processing which is done over the signal is done in this system which acts as a black box. So basically system is a basic conversion system. As we can see in the next phase, here the input signal is a kind of analog signal and the output signal is a digital signal. So this system actually acts as a conversion system which converts the analog signals to the digital signals after processing. So why do we need systems? So as we know that digital image processing deals with the digital images that are in the form of digital signals. So when the images or any kind of data is captured, as we are here considering an example of the image, similarly, when the data is captured, it is present in the analog form or in the form which is a very continuous form. So that form is further converted into a digital format and then it is further processed. In order to perform operations on the analog signal with a digital computer, infinite memory is required to store to it. So now we'll broadly classify the systems into two categories. One is the continuous system and another one is the discrete system. The continuous system is the one whose input and output both are the continuous signals or the analog signals. These are called the continuous signals. And this discrete system is the one in which both the input and output are the discrete signals or the digital signals. As you can see in the figure here, we have the first figure as the analog signal as an input and an output as well. And in the next figure, the digital signal as an input and an output as well. Thank you.